we're getting ready to start. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Says my connection is weak. I'm here in Canada, so I don't know if it will hold up, but we'll see. We will soon see. Happy Tuesday, Ian, Kevin, James, Miranda, Megan Wright. Hello. Rachaline, Charles, everybody. Gerardo, Aaron, Juarez, CNL, Rashida. Good evening this afternoon, everybody. We're going to have a really freaking awesome questions and answers today. I've got a lot of recognition posts to do, for my own organization. Reggie Shiloh, he just hit supervisor. Nani Gonzalez, he just hit senior consultant. John Harris just hit world team. I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm excited for my team. I love seeing people recognized for working hard. That inspires me a lot. So, I got some recognition posts to do today. I'm excited. We're going to give it probably 2 more minutes, and then we'll start answering some questions. By the way, here's a disclaimer. I do not know it all. And anything that I share will be based off of personal experience, something that I've personally grown through, gotten a result, taught someone else, and they got a result as well. Which apps? Good luck with that one. I got over 75 applications on my phone. That's why I don't never give anybody a specific thing, because I don't use the same apps every time. It just looks like that. But it's with my pictures, I can use up to 20 applications layered over and over and over. It's just because I love art. People will do it because they're like, I'm trying to build my business. I don't do anything to build my business. I do it because I love it. I just happen to be an artist. So your best bet when it comes to apps is to go download everything that your mind gravitates towards. I just looked up special effects and I downloaded everything, and then I just start playing. So, how do I train people that are in other states or countries? The same way that I'm talking to you right now. Through social media, through FaceTime, through Skype, through Zoom. That's easy. Let's see. Carmen Meza. She asked, Did you ever have self-doubt? And what did you do to overcome it? I surrounded myself around people who were confident. And a lot of times when you have self-doubt, you're usually by yourself. You close yourself in. You don't believe in yourself. And you're usually surrounded by a bunch of people who have the same exact mentality. So I kept myself around people who inspired me, people who were goal-oriented. And you naturally are a product of your environment. So, guys, you start asking questions. Ask whatever question you like. Cindy, my son is 15 years old and is an avid product user and is about to become a member with the intention of learning to be a distributor. I'm not sure how to get him set up to learn. I'm not sure how to... People his age, through the parents maybe. Through the parents, get them to a STS. sports. I don't know. You're just going to have to try things. And whatever you do, document that so that when the next 15-year-old comes along, you can see what you did. You know, like, let me tell you something. People, they think so much that they never get anything done. The most successful people in the world are the people that just make it happen. They find a way. Pretend like you're water, okay? So if you're water and then all of a sudden you're flowing, your mission is to flow down the river, a boulder comes out of nowhere. Do you freeze up and be like, oh no, a boulder, a boulder? No. You shape and shift and you figure out a way. The mindset of the person that just continues to try things. Life cannot deny someone who's given their absolute all, but you have to go out and just start trying new things and start being creative with your ideas. You know, a lot of times people, they just think and they think and they think and they never get anything done. The proactive mind will always have something more than somebody who never does anything. So whatever you learn through the process of figuring out a way for your 15-year-old son, which is, there's lots of 15-year-olds, you just got to ask, you got to go around, start asking people. They got parents, he plays sports, you know, you start writing things down, and then you guys go into those, you guys go into those avenues. One thing's for sure, nothing will ever get done if you don't do it. So if you think of something, do it instantly, and then you'll learn either what to do or what not to do, if that answers your question. Maggie Lopez, what makes you so happy? Maggie, we were born happy. You have to learn how to be sad. You have to learn how to be mad. You have to learn how to be angry. You have to learn how to be jealous. Our natural state is happiness. When was the last time you seen a mad baby? You know what I'm saying? We're actually born happy. So a lot of times when you pay attention to those creative ideas and you do the stuff that you love, whether you love a certain color, or you love music or something like that, I'm always doing the stuff that I love. So naturally, I'm going to always be in my happy. And that's why I always say, do what you love, if that answers your question. Okay, so Rashida Smith. So I have a hard time breaking the ice when talking to potential clients, trying not to offend them. What are some ways you can break the ice? One, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So you just got to talk. You think too much, you'll let like 200 people pass you up. You just got to talk. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. I got everything wrong. I got all of the content wrong, the doctors wrong, the protein wrong, the ingredients wrong when I started. But one thing that was right was how I felt. And people were like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to feel how you feel. You know, it's things that I do to break the ice is I'm a happy person. So I naturally, what was the best part about your day? I ask strangers that. What was the highlight of your day? And then they'll tell me, and I love comedy. I make people laugh. Anytime you can make somebody laugh, you'll instantly, drop their guard. I don't think too much. It's just like a person is a human being with a heart. People love to laugh. People love music. You can actually stop thinking about what you're going to think about and then ask them how they're doing. And people will tell you, because people carry at the forefront of their brain what they're feeling and thinking all day long. All you got to do is say, how was your day? And then they'll tell you, oh, I'm having a bad day. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I need a job. You already know what we do as Herbalife distributors. So you can offer opportunity there to get people on products and stuff. But when breaking the ice, it's easy to not talk or ask them a question, then let them talk. And, most people just want to be heard. Most people in the world, they just want to be heard. A lot of times we'll know all of this information and we'll force feed them all this information. And they're like, wait, I just wanted to know what Herbalife was. I didn't ask about no marketing plan. I didn't ask about no nutrition plan. I didn't ask all this stuff. When people ask a simple question, give them a simple answer. If they started asking more detailed questions, give them more detailed answers. How do you get through the struggles? You just do it, Lynn. Nobody on the face of this planet will ever get through life without a struggle. You know, let me tell you something. That's like saying, how do I get through school without taking tests? Well, how do you get through life without taking life tests? After school, you still got to take tests, and life is your teacher. The pop quizzes are the things that come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to go through the struggle. You have to. How else do you think you're going to be stronger for the next level? How else do you think you'll get to 5th grade with a 1st grade mentality without going through all the final exams to get you into the next grade? That's why you got homework every day. That's why, you know, there's a sequence of events and things that you must overcome going from kindergarten to 5th grade. When you graduate from high school and college, it's not over. Your life lessons, that school is in session right now. And that's why we talk about personal development all the time. You have to override 20 or 30 years of thinking. Imagine you think the same way your whole life, and then somebody tells you to read this book. It doesn't work. That's why you have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So to get through your life struggles, make sure that you're properly equipped with the right mindset. How do you present Herbalife to someone without offending them? Well, one, I'm not sure how you're presenting Herbalife to somebody, but if somebody's getting offended, it's possibly because of the way you're communicating to them. This is what I tell people all the time. 75% of communication is nonverbal. It's energy, example, and action. People talk way too much. We start knowing something and then we just start talking in verbal, like diarrhea to the brain, to everybody. Listen, that is the most unattractive way to approach this business. Let it be a part of who you are. Herbalife is not my end-all be-all, but it's a part of the experience called Garrain Jones. When I wake up and when I look in the mirror, I don't say, hello, Herbalife distributor. No, I say, hello, Garrain Jones. But a part of my experience is I'm a Herbalife distributor, and I love the opportunity to help people get to the next level of their life, right? So the best way for it not to be unattractive and the best way to not offend people is to be fully committed to whatever it is that you're talking about. But then also have it be a natural part of whatever it is that you're doing. Like if I ask you your name, you're not going to say, my name is Garrain, my name is Garrain, my name is Garrain, my name is Garrain. Hey, I was just following up about Garrain. My name is Garrain. You're not going to overload on people with Garrain. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take the overloading. It takes the example. People are inspired by what you're inspired by if you stay consistent in that, you know? And so if they say no, cool, then they're not ready. There's 7 billion people that 7 billion possible people that could have this opportunity, you know? So just make sure that people know what you do. Follow up occasionally, and be really about this life, because your actions will speak. Now, if you say that you're an Herbalife you're an Herbalife distributor, and you're talking about Herbalife and nutrition products, and you're talking about getting people healthy, but everything that you do is unhealthy, even when you're not on social media, well, this is kind of going into somebody else's question, so I'm blending it. But, it's everything is example. Everything that you post, everything that you say, who you are as a person is an example of what you're representing. So hopefully that answers your question. Who was your inspiration when you began Herbalife? When I began, I really didn't have much of an inspiration because I didn't trust nobody. Money was my inspiration. I can make money, but I didn't have no team when I was searching for money. So money was my inspiration. It wasn't no people. I just wasn't doing personal development. And I just had the wrong intentions, wrong focus. And that might be why nobody wanted to work with me. But, my inspiration then became 50K Senior Executive Chairman's Club. He's on his way. Senior Executive President's team, Enrique Carrillo. I just like how free he was, how fun he was, how he loved his people. And he always said, be the distributor that you want your distributors to be. And, I listened to him, and I just became a different kind of human being because of that conversation. Kevin Brissino, how do you expand your business without making people feel like they have to do it? One, you can't make nobody do anything. At times, I try to show the opportunity to people, but I feel like it might be too pushy. Well, try a different approach. And like I said, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And if somebody's not ready, cool, no problem. 7 million people. I just always make sure that I'm the best representation of Herbalife, the best representation of myself, the best representation of my family, the best representation of somebody that, the best representation of a leader. So I have to constantly work on myself, my communication, my attitude. And people see that stuff. They see it. And, they may not tell you, but they see everything and they feel everything. So, it's you build a business by building yourself, if that makes any sense. Anytime that I've shifted or became a better person, or I had a shift in my mindset, my business has also changed because it creates a ripple effect in your organization to how people see you. Remember, people don't do what you say, they do what they see. Dennis Kosmicki, sorry if I mess up your name. How do you maintain a great culture within your organization? One, you have to start something and you have to be consistent. Oftentimes, so many people, they'll start something and they won't see anything after 90 days and then they quit. Then they'll start the next thing and they quit, and they're freaking all over the place like a butterfly and wondering why nobody's sticking. Why? Because you won't even stick. You are the representation of what that is. I have my Monday night team call. I've done my Monday night team call for every single Monday, whether I was sick or out of the country, for 4.5 years straight without failure. And guess what? Anytime the majority from my team, they create a call, they'll do something and they will not abort. And because I show up, I am the example. People are looking for you. There's silent mentorship in what you personally do. You create the culture when you become the culture. And then you create even more of the culture when you're passionate about it. And even when nobody shows up, you still show up, rain, sleet, snow, no matter what. And then you start building a pattern of people that are sitting inside of whatever it is that you're doing because they know that you're not going to go away. Okay, Mitad Horjak. What to do if you, after 9 years, still do not enjoy big events, and if you attract people who do not enjoy them? Well, one, I can't speak after 9 years because I've been in this company for 4 years and 8 months. So I don't know. I'll tell you when 9 years, but I can tell you this. I'm not sure where your business is right now, but probably that attitude may have to change. And typically, your people won't like what you don't like. I've had people in my organization, they don't show up to the events. And guess what happens with their people? They don't show up to the events. So because you don't like big events, well, guess what's going to happen with your people that you attract? They're not going to like events. People are going to show up to whatever you show up to. And, it's like if you're in 9 years I'm not sure how your business is going, but I would say attitude reflects leadership. And you'll attract who you are, not what you show people, who you really are when nobody's around and you look in that mirror and the truth shows up. So you can lie to me, you can lie to your family, you can lie to your friends, but you can't lie to yourself. You know, and if you're not happy in a certain area and you feel stuck, that might be a reason why you're attracting the same kind of people. If that answers your question. Emily Johnson, how long have you been in Herbalife, and when did you have that aha moment happen? I've been in Herbalife for 4 years and 8 months, and before all of you be like, oh my God, how do you get 30K, 3 diamonds so fast? Let me tell you something. I never focused on fast. I just focused, and we can't discredit the 30-something years before I signed on the dotted line, you know. All of us have something that we've overcome or been through, and whatnot, that we've experienced before we came into Herbalife. So my aha moment was I was very selfish when I started. I was prideful. No one could tell me what to do. I wouldn't listen to anybody. I wouldn't, anytime they would say, will you contribute to the STS or something like that, I would say yes, but in the back of my head, I'm like, for what? I thought I was too good to contribute for free, you know? And my aha moment was Chief Executive President's team, one of my upline mentors, Mark Addy. He owned the nutrition club. And me, I had an ego problem. I wouldn't listen to anybody. And I wouldn't clean up. I would expect other people to clean up. You know, I would see other people doing things. I was always the last person to raise my hand whenever they would ask for volunteers. And I saw Mark Addy ask for permission to go behind his own bar and get some water. People are always watching your actions. And it was that moment right there. I didn't have any supervisors for 6.5 months. And I hit millionaire team in 10.5 months. So go figure, there was a click. When he asked for permission, it showed me a lot about gratitude. And it showed me a lot about how to not be prideful, how to not have an ego. It was his own club. He could have just went behind the bar. But guess what? 10 minutes prior, I just went behind the bar because I was doing all kind of volume, whatever. And he said, he asked somebody to go behind the bar, may I get some water? And that changed. And then I saw him sweeping up. And I saw him picking up other people's trash who disrespected stuff. And he would just it was a certain way of being that shifted my mindset because I wasn't like that. And then I remember I was even doing a shake shift at the club, and I would only help people that were in my organization, but I wouldn't help other people's people like I would help my own. And then in my head, I had a shift. That was when Enrique Carrillo said, be the distributor that you want your distributors to be. And I said, you know what? Why would anybody ever want to follow somebody? I'm a butthead. I have an ego problem. I have an attitude. I have excuses, justifications. I have pride. I'm comparing myself. I'm jealous. I'm all these different things. Who the hell would want to build with somebody like that? Nobody. And that's why I had no team. But it was in that moment I changed my attitude. I said, you know what? Every time I come to this club, I'm gonna play the best music. I'm gonna make the best shakes, and I'm gonna give the best advice, whether you're on my team, in my organization or not. And I just want people to be happy. That's it. And I started contributing to the STS. My organization started contributing based off of me and what I was doing, which meant I was functioning out of humility, not pride. So when I've removed my pride, removed my ego, and said, instead of take, I always want people to give me advice, take. I said, how can I add value everywhere I go? That happened, and I started attracting a different quality of people in my business, different quality of clients that came in. They were just like, I'll follow, I will listen. And it was so crazy how my whole entire business shifted from that one thing. Okay. By the way, and it's crazy because in Dallas, in San Antonio, in Houston, in DC, in Boston, in anywhere where my organization is, they're all doing probably the most contribution than anybody that I personally know. I had to do it first. And it's not about giving to where you don't give to yourself. I was still in production while I was giving. I just found a way to still be in production and not giving to bring it up in a later conversation and say, well, after all that I've done, I did this. That means your intention was to get the attention and not to be of selfless service of the many. Those of you that know where I'm going with this conversation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I became a selfless servant and provided myself. That's why I do these calls. I don't have to do this call, but I do it out of the great goodness of my heart to add value any way that I can. You know, I do that at the STSs. You know, I did the chairs, I did the doors, I did all of the other stuff, you know, the different speaker sections and everything. I did all that. Now there was space for other people to do that. Now I travel all over the world and give back to Herbalife. They don't pay me to speak, but I do it out of the goodness of my heart to add value. That started because I was helping out. Even when I go to other people's nutrition clubs, I'm like, how can I help? I help take out chairs and all this other stuff. I don't step over trash and say, how can I help? If I see trash, I pick it up. I don't care where I am. It's adding value everywhere you go. And that built the muscle that now has me doing these calls, over 200 videos, doing and constantly giving out, pour out. Guess what? The outside is the physical manifestation of what goes on inside the brain. So who I am being is a constant giver, free of pride and ego. Naturally, it has to come back, but I don't think about it coming back. There's no timeline on how it comes back. I just give, but not to the point to where I give and I have nothing for me. I'm still a human being first. So I give to myself first so I can be at my highest maximum potential, and then the spill out over what I give to myself, I pour into the world. So, let's see, Miranda Ingerson. How much time do you spend on tab team members who says they want success in this business, but refusing to be consistent with the actions involved? And that means that they don't. I don't listen to what people say. It's their actions. That's why I say 75% of communication is nonverbal. It's energy, example, and action. So if you tell me you want this, and then I'll give you something to do, and you don't do it, then that means you don't want it. So you don't get the I want it conversation. You get the how you're showing up. These are your actions conversation, and usually there's none. So I work I work a lot with trial packs. How do you ask for indications from your clients? I don't know what indications are, so you might have to rephrase that again so I can understand that question. Okay. Candace Catherine, what are the, and I answered this on the last call that I did. What are the first steps you have members do when they register and want to do this business part-time or full-time? My Herbalife, learn a marketing plan. Yes. Yeah, I answered this on the last one. But first steps is one, the stuff that people have access to, I point them in that direction. Most people who get those 4 books and their H&P kit never read it. They just never read it. I've read those books over 15 times. And I tell people to click every button on myherbalife.com. Why? Because you're going to find personal development, the marketing plan, best business practices. You're going to find every single thing that this company has to offer. Why would you go to a university and not read your books? Why would you be an Herbalife distributor and not know in and out your myherbalife.com like you know your own name? So people kind of do, but kind of only get you kind of results. That's the first step before anything. And I teach people to learn the marketing plan. You know, you learn the marketing plan, but I get them to identify where the marketing plan is. You know, and then I'll have people make a list of 100 names. The 100 names isn't to get people in your business or on the products. The 100 names is simply to make people aware of what you're doing, so that by you being efficient on your Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, face-to-face, flyers, whatever, they'll eventually catch fire and see that you were really serious about what you're doing. So now if you can get people a part of your 100, then that's cool. But I tell people all the time, make your list of 100 names, play the who do you know? Who do you know that's broke? Who do you know that's overweight? Who do you know that needs energy? Who do you know that's a mom? Who do you know, who do you know that plays sports? Who do you know that has a big family? Who do you know that's an influencer? And I write all these names down, 100 names. Contact them and don't say, hey, you need to lose weight. Be like, hey, how have you been? Most people, they take this stuff straight to Herbalife. Listen, if there's a human being, there's a heartbeat on the other, on that other line. Acknowledge the human being first before you go into Herbalife. Acknowledge the human being first. How is your family? If the conversation goes to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no problem. How is your family? How are your friends? What have you been up to? Acknowledge the human being. And when you ask, what have you been up to? They'll tell you. And then guess what they're going to ask? What have you been up to? And it is a natural flow of conversation. But when people wake up, they're not Herbalife distributor first. They're a human being first. So you acknowledge the human being that you're talking to. When you acknowledge the human being, it's a very different feeling. When people know that you really care about who they are as people, then them a part of the Herbalife experience is very different. So to answer your question, I those 100 names, I contact all of them. How have you been? And then I just wanted to let you know, this is what I've been doing lately. And my mission is to get my friend, all of my friends and family healthy. So if you know of anybody, never point at somebody, they'll get offended. If you know of anybody who's looking to lose weight, gain lean muscle, or needs more energy, could you refer them to me? In their minds, they're going to say, well, I want to lose weight. So you throw the rock away, and then they're like, no, I want to lose weight. So you know what I'm saying? Hope that answers your question. Hi from Chicago. What's happening? Ashley Mason, how do you explain the Herbalife opportunity without sounding pitchy? Um, I rarely say Herbalife opportunity. It's more of an experience. It's part of a flow. How do you explain a movie without sounding pitchy that you like? It's the same way. How do you explain Fast and the Furious 7 when it first came out? Same way, girl. I went and saw this movie last night. It was so fun. Da, 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 da. If they like it, well, was it a good movie? Then you go into it. So the pitchiness comes from like, I gotta have this perfect script or something. People aren't robots. There's a heart on the end of that conversation. So it's all a part of the conversation. It doesn't have to be pitchy if you just have a normal conversation with people. You know, this was my personal experience. I'm just like, the other day somebody said to me, they said, why are you always so happy? I was like, man, you have no idea. 4.5 years ago, I was down and out. And then it's like crazy. I did something I never thought I would do, which was get on a freaking nutrition plan and actually listen to somebody. But it was crazy how you never know how bad you feel until you start feeling good. Like, man, we had this energy tea and I just felt good. And then I ended up losing weight. And I talk about my own personal experience. If they do not insinuate anything, zip it. I don't say nothing. I just tell them about my personal experience and I leave it alone. But when they walk away, they will have in their mind how you, in their hearts, how you made them feel. And then they're going to think, because one day when they're in a place where they feel down and out and they're tired, they're going to think, damn, I remember such and such was down and out and they were tired. And, you know, they're going to think about your conversation. And then that's when they say, hey, you know, are you still doing that Herbalife stuff? Granted, if you're committed, you'll still be doing it and you'll still be having the same kind of energy that you did when you spoke to them last. So guess what? Bam! You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. All you can do is work on yourself, be the best version of yourself, and share your personal experience. If you weren't happy, now you're happy, share that. If you were overweight, now you're in the best shape of your life, share that. Share those stories. Whatever comes from the heart goes right into the heart. Cindy Rivas, did you have a moment when you had obstacles one after the other and felt stuck with your goals? What did you do? Yes, Cindy, I felt like quitting this business 7 times in the beginning. Yes, me. I didn't understand that there was a much bigger picture. But what I do know is in life, there are always going to be obstacles. There are always going to be tests. If I ask my coach after never running a marathon, hey, train me for a marathon, do you think that my coach would give me very easy workouts? No. You think he would give me a workout that would have me training from here to my kitchen? No. They're going to be hard workouts. So I expect obstacles. Expect them. Because they're only going to groom you into the person that you need to be for the next level. When you go to the next level, in life, there are going to be tests and challenges and obstacles. But those are only there to test you so that when you overcome all of those things that you overcome, you'll be stronger for the next level. That's why you can't go from 1st grade to 5th grade without all of the lessons that you had to learn. So, yeah, you know, those were just moments. There was a time where there was a distributor on my team where I was trying to build a team, and I'll keep it funky. Tara Malia, my best friend, like she was the most difficult person to ever work with. You know, you got 2 alpha. She was an alpha female, I'm an alpha male, and neither one of us were doing personal development. Oh God, can you imagine? That's like firecrackers going off like in people's face. It was like that in the beginning. And we reached a point where both of us were about to quit this business. This was before like all the people came, and I was getting ready to walk away. And I remember she asked me a question about Herbalife. And in that moment, I could have chose my own little sappy feelings or purpose, a bigger picture, changing somebody's life, something that I've prayed to God that I wanted. So guess what I did? I chose Herbalife. And that's why I always hashtag purpose over everything. I chose even in the midst of just struggles and arguments and everything, I said, but there's a bigger picture to this, so let me focus on the bigger picture. When I wanted to quit and I kept going 10 times harder, that's when my business started. That's when I built a new pattern of muscle, because I reached a level. Anywhere where you've quit boyfriends, quit girlfriends, quit jobs, you'll come into Herbalife and quit whenever the going gets tough in the same manner. Just because it's Herbalife Day, you're not safe. You're not safe from that. It's your mentality to see that you could actually change people's lives and that there's more in this world just out of your own petty little worries. I'm not calling your worries petty. I'm just saying when you put yourself, meaning myself, above all of the impact that we can make in the world, and it's something that can really be worked out, but it's my attitude that I can't let go, that's why the results will be what they are. But when I chose the bigger picture, when I chose, no, it's about people. It's about people. It's about making a difference. It's about my clients. It's about me always being there. It's about me being there for the coaches who really want it. Me being there. When I chose that, my business has never looked back. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Jamie Garcia. So, just a disclaimer. Everybody has different like DMOs or something, DMOs and whatnot. My DMO is like, it's not 3-day trial specific, so I can't really answer that question. But there's other people and it's working for them. If it's working for you, keep going. So I focus more on the mindset. My approach to 3-day trials for me personally is it's just, I don't, how can I put it? It's like you got a gym membership, and then when you want to test out the gym, you go and try it out for 3 days. So that's how I speak about it to people. And if they want to try it out for 3 days to see if they like it, cool. But I am. That's it. That's all I have for that, because that's not heavy in my own personal DMO. If it was, like I say, I always speak about stuff that I personally do. Let's see. Samantha B. Williams, how did you get your team motivated, inspired to hit supervisor, and then active supervisor? Well, one, leaders show themselves. Leaders, listen to this. Leaders show themselves. I teach people the marketing plan. I ask them their goals. I ask them their why. But after that, it's up to them. So if you don't hit supervisor, that's on you. That's not up to me. All I can do is guide. That's it. So if you don't hit it, That's on you. I'm not going to force you to hit supervisor. I'm like, listen, I'm the most unforced person ever. And this is what you want. This is what it's going to take. If you don't do it, then that's not what you want. No problem. No problem. And I don't, oh my God, why isn't my people working? Why? I would never want to follow somebody who even talks like that. Attitude adjustment instantly. Okay, who wants to work? I do. Okay, what would you like? This is what I want. Okay, this is what it's going to take. And when they show by their own initiative, that shows that they wanted it. So I'm going to heavily work with that person. Jakar Clark. When recruiting people in other countries, what is the best way to explain what we do and get them signed up to work the business? The same exact way that you would do with somebody in our country. I've got people in Japan. I've got people in Brazil. And I got people in Italy. I have a downline. I have a success team member, Ivana, in Italy. She can't even speak English, and we speak over Google Translate. And she just hit supervisor, closing in. But I didn't tell her anything different. I didn't tell her anything different. I'm not going to say, hey, because you're in another country. No, like, this is what it is. What are your goals? Okay, cool. This is what it's going to take. And they either do it or they don't. If they don't, then they didn't really want it. Saul. I'm not going to get into, because it's not a religious call. Those who know, they know. This is about business practice, so I don't want to get into religion on this specific call. I can make it all about religion, but those who follow my journey, those who read my messaging, they know I'm a walking I'm a walking prayer, and like I said, 75% of communication is nonverbal. So the majority, I don't even have to speak because I am it. You know what I'm saying? Some of my best friends are Muslim. I have a very good friends that are Buddhist. And so this is not a religious call, and so I'm not going to even get into that. But I'll tell you, my beliefs are my beliefs. My example is my example, and those who choose on their own volition to follow can follow, but it's not my job to force people my own beliefs. So I will never do that. I will just be who I am. And share what I share. And those who need to know will know. Those who don't know and get the example of how I show up will see an example that's closer than I'm just not going to get into that conversation, not on this business call. But I can tell you this, Saul. Every single person on this call is in purpose, on purpose. Nobody's accidentally here. If you weren't, if you woke up this morning, you're still being worked on, and the rest is your own journey to figure out. But I'm always going to lead by example and share what I share. And for those who want to pick up on that, they will. What did it take? Go back to my Facebook and look at the last 4.5 years. It took every single day. You'll see the answers to your next 100 questions. What did it take? Day in and day out. Haley Sanders. What's something you can recommend when it comes to your downline that don't respect you? Love from a distance. No problem. We're all going to experience it. Just learn to love from a distance. Jordan Pickett, learning from your mistakes. What was your biggest mistake you made in this process? And what is your advice for us on how to avoid that? Being jealous and comparing myself to others. That was the biggest mistake. That was my biggest mistake. Being jealous and comparing myself to others. Because you're comparing someone else's strengths to your weaknesses, and that will never work. A shark doesn't compare himself to a giraffe. If you're a giraffe, be a giraffe. If you're a fish, be a fish. That's why I love my pandas. I love my tight pants. I love my socks. I love my bow ties. I love being happy. I love shouting out Jesus and God and all that. But that's me. That's me. It was when I tried to hold myself back from who I am, that's when my business was whack. When I didn't show up in this world, as the real me. So that, like, whether you're gay, straight, purple, pink, white, black, whoever you are, my greatest advice, the greatest gift you can give to the world is you in your authentic form. You can lie to everyone else, but you cannot lie to yourself. And you can't hide your thoughts from the universe. When I decide to unapologetically be myself, that's when I started attracting people with a lot of depth that wanted to unapologetically be themselves. And people say, how did you get so many powerful leaders? They were already powerful. They just needed direction. All people need, everybody on here is a dynamic human being. If you have a heartbeat and you've made it past year after year after year and you're still on this planet, you're still dynamic. But will the real you show up? So when I decided to unapologetically be myself, I don't care what nobody say. Nobody. When I was unapologetically myself, all of these amazing things start happening. Why? Because I was happy. And like I say all the time, the powers that be can't bless who you pretend to be. So my mistake was trying to be somebody that I was not. I ain't no gangster rapper, so I ain't about to pretend to be one. You know, for me, I never personally, I love all the DMOs, but I was never connected to having a nutrition club. And I felt myself saying, you got to get a nutrition club. You got to get it. I don't want one. I just didn't want one. So guess what? I didn't get one and was still able to build a business. But there's people in nutrition clubs that have built a business. People in 3-day trials that have built a business. And there's President's Team and all of the methods. I followed my heart. I was myself. And I tell people all the time, don't duplicate me. I'm the only Garrain on this planet. But you can duplicate the philosophy. And that's all the business practices. That's the use, where, talk, and all of these different things. But you can't be Garrain. Ain't no other Garrain Jones. All of you guys are one of a kind. One of a kind. Your mom is not even you. You're their offspring, but you're not someone else. There's no one else more youer than you. And the greatest mistake, to answer your question, is when I was trying to be somebody else that I was not. When I was myself 1000%, dress how I want to dress, look how I want to look. But then I was naturally gravitated to elevating myself and being a better version of myself. Everything changed. What is one of the things that you struggle with? I don't use the word struggle because that means that's a very unempowering word. So I don't use words in my vocabulary like, oh, it's a challenge. Oh, it's a problem. Oh, it's a struggle. I don't never use those words ever. So let me tell you, our words and the admitting of our words create the manifestation to create those things that keep coming in your life. So I don't use those words. I call them opportunities. I call them opportunities. And it's an opportunity for you to do something different. Attitude reflects leadership. And that's your standard. So whatever you talk about, oh, I'm having such a problem. Oh, I'm having such a hard time. Why would I ever want to follow somebody who's buckles under pressure? No, I'm having an opportunity so I can choose to do something else. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. You can choose to do different things with the same circumstances. You don't have to turn left on the street that you keep running into the brick wall. You can go right if you want to. So, an area where I'm not going to use the word struggle because that's not a part. I've unlearned that vocabulary word. But I'll tell you, an area where I have an opportunity is in the area of being on time. And that's something I'm working on. I've gotten so much better. Just being on time for things. And for some reason, I've had a pattern in my brain that was built that I can get anywhere in the world in 30 minutes. I don't know why. It's like that. So it's something that I'm working on, and I've been getting better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? You spend your life thinking a certain way. That's your pattern. That's like you speak English for your whole life, and then somebody gives you a book on Japanese and say, read it. You have to override 37 years of thinking a certain way. So since I was a little kid, I've always thought I can get anywhere in 30 minutes. So as an adult, the same thing is still taking into effect, but I'm learning, okay, I'm changing the time on the watch. So if I leave an hour before, I'll get there right on time. So I'm learning how to break that pattern, and that's something that I'm working on. Let's see. David Byers, how do you get rid of the negative Nancys in your club when they do so good, but they bring the drama? Let me tell you something. I don't care what your numbers are. I don't have a club, but I worked out of my house. I don't care what your numbers are. There's a standard in my house. There's a standard in a business place. And I don't treat people a certain way just because they can do high volume. One, there's more there's more people being produced than money. So I focus on the people. But there's a standard that I set. There's house rules. There's club rules. I don't have a club, but the people that I know, there's a certain standard. And listen, I've had people like literally threaten, I'll do less volume if you don't this. I'm like, okay, cool. There's 7 million people out there. I learned to love people from a distance. So if you want to do less volume because you're not getting your way and want to bring your stank attitude up into something, let me tell you something. You don't want to work out of my place of establishment then. And if you want to pull your volume back, then that means you weren't even truly meant to be in this business because you wasn't doing it for the right reasons anyways. I don't want unright reasons in my business. Not at all. It's a standard. If we all got standards of wearing clothes right now and you go outside with clothes on, let me tell you something. You can have a standard for your business. You can have there's a standard for garage sales And anybody that wants like swap meet material, that's the people that want free and discounts. But Gucci got a standard. You ain't gonna see swap meet in front of Gucci. Gucci has a standard. My business practice has a standard. The way I talk has a standard. The way I dress has a standard. And when you set those standards, listen, there is no compromise. When people come into my house, you're not allowed to curse. Because my walls, they have feelings. So when you come in my house, you better check your attitude. I don't care if you're my mama. I do not care if you're my mama. If you got an attitude and you in my house, you got to go. Why? Because my house has a standard. Because when you leave, I got to feel the energy. So if you don't set the standard, then people are going to walk on you all the time. And then if you lead it just because somebody's doing well, then the intention is, well, then I'm just going to, like, it's more focus on the money and the business than the actual human being. Hell no. You must be out your left and right brain. You're going to think you're going to act a certain way and your own performance gets you in the door. No, listen, your performance can get you in the door, but your attitude is going to allow you to stay. And if you got an attitude, you're going to have to go. And I'm willing for my business to drop and you leaving and somebody else coming in that meets the standard, and it may take 5, 6, 7 months, a year. I'm willing to risk that to uphold the standard. And that's how the standard over time becomes a certain way. But you gotta stick up for what you believe in. And if not, you'll be pushed around and kicked over for a long time. So, that's it, you guys. So I just want to just say that everything is well. Yeah. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Friend of mine is asking me a question. Yeah. All right, cool. So, let me see. Oh, wow, there's lots of questions. This is really awesome. Pamela Davis, when a customer or a member gives up on their plans, do you recommend continued follow-ups or simply moving on? I followed up to find out why, and they said it just didn't work for them. Should I keep moving or check in periodically? I would definitely check in periodically, like whenever a new product comes out or whatnot. But let me see. You know, it's like you can check in, tell them, you know, I've had people say that it wasn't for them at that time, but because I stayed consistent, they came back after 3 years and say, okay, I'm ready now. I've been watching. Your consistency helped me so much, and I'm just ready. All right. Okay, Ashley Alvarez. My husband is not being very supportive with Herbalife. He doesn't see the vision. He doesn't understand it's more than my fitness goals. The goal is to make others healthy and happy. How can I stay positive when someone so close is negative? Well, I don't have a wife, but I do have an organization that has lots of husbands and wives, and they were not supportive. But here's the thing. Um, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So they you gotta there's a happy balance, and I'm probably not the right person to ask. I have lots of like moms on my team. So when it comes to the unsupportive, one, they might feel like the time is being taken away. So you might want to actually spend some time, and just like you recognize your clients, maybe recognize your husband. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but you know, some things that have worked for other people, they recognized their husbands for all of their hard work, just like they recognized a new senior consultant or their clients. Because at the end of the day, people love recognition. They like feeling special. They like feeling like they're heard. So yeah. So I don't feel like I'm qualified to answer that question, but I would say find someone who's a mom and it's got like that whole thing, and ask them. And so that's what I'll say. Okay. Spella Vihar, how do you start working with people who are broke and want to do the business but can't afford a nutrition program? One, you can never tell me you're broke, because I was living in my car when I started. So that's not an excuse. So I always have examples of people who were broke, um, but I found a way. And, you know, a lot of times I'll ask people, how much do you spend on food per day? And they'll tell me 15 or $20. Well, I know 20 times 30 is $600. And I'm saying, well, if I could put you on a program that would help you save some money, would you be okay with that? And they're like, oh yeah, anytime someone feels like that they can save some money. But I got to find out, before I ever mention any kind of money, I want to know how much you spend on food per day. I need to know this question, because then you're going to tell me what you have for your food budget. Yeah. So these are questions inside of the wellness evaluation that you ask. I want to know what you're buying, what you're like when if you're going out for drinks, what you're getting for your groceries monthly. I want to find everything that you're putting inside your body and how much you're spending on that monthly. And based off that, I find a solution inside of what I know you're already spending. Okay. Lucy Herrera, how do you stay authentic to yourself when you're constantly being told by loved ones that you're wrong and that you should be someone else? Thank you. That's easy. Just be yourself. Because being yourself has nothing to do with anyone else. But if you give someone else the power, well then that's on you. My mama don't have power on who I am. Like, as far as the things that I love, the music that I sing, nobody has power over that. Nobody. And I will not give, at the end of the day, I don't answer to man, I answer to God. So I don't give man power over how I show, my expressive, my being in the world. Sean Patton, in your opinion, what is your responsibility to your team as a sponsor? How do you know if you are letting them depend on you too much? This is how you know. They can't do anything without you, then that means you've spoon fed them. People sign up as independent distributors. So I make sure to teach them how to be independent, but still support them along the way. And that's the difference. If I don't show up, they'll still show up, but I'm always going to show up because I need to show them to be that example. So my responsibility as a sponsor is to be the training wheels to their independence. All right, you guys. So it's been about an hour. Our call is over. Let's see. Let me see. That's it. So, yeah, it's been about an hour. So hopefully you guys got a lot from this. It's recorded and on my page. I want to say thank you for coming. And listen, it's a brand new month. Let's make our declarations. Let's go out. Let's get as many customers as we can. Let's make sure that they're properly getting service. People are getting results. We are a results-based business. And then exposing people to the opportunity to be a part of this business if they so choose. Nothing is forced. Everything is an option and exposure and your own personal example of how to show up. So you guys have an incredible day. I'm going to enjoy Canada here. I love you from the deepest reaches of my hearts. Yeah, and that's it. Let's take it on. This is going to be an awesome month. Let's go out. Let's beast. Your sponsor, whoever they are, however you feel about them, tell them thank you. Send them a message right now to say thank you for sponsoring me in this business and giving me this opportunity. I love my sponsor, Brian Holyfield. I probably would not be alive if he didn't share this opportunity with him. So whoever your sponsor is, just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And whoever your mentor is, whoever gives you advice, the greatest way to say thank you is to simply apply and get the most out of your business and the most out of your life. And once you get those results, that's the best way to say thank you. So text your sponsor right now and say, thank you for bringing me in this business. I'm going to make you proud. You guys have an incredible day, and I'll see you next week. Peace.